doing Memtes, Psachim Memtes. We're towards the bottom of Memtes Medalf. Okay.
Mea culpa.
Okay. Because whoever benefits from a meal which there's no mitzvah associated with it, Zosof Golan will be exiled. Shneimar, like it says, V'ochlim karim mitzon v'agalim mitoch marbek. Right, so somebody who eats like the fat sheep and the calves, then something is going to go to exile, right? Okay. We talk more big. We say yiglu barosh golim, right? Right. Okay. So the first pasuk is just talking about like really, having lots of fancy meals, lots of lamb steaks and I don't know, beef steaks, and just piling it on in the outside of the context of a Sudas mitzvah. Right, and then there's a pasuk. It's just a few pasukim later in Amos. It says talks about galus. Right, whoever, any Talmid Chacham who feasts successively everywhere, right? Sof machariv is beso. Eventually, he will destroy his house. It could be like meaning in the sense that because he's gonna have so much debt, right? Ma'almin is ishto, it'll cause his wife to be like widowed, and maybe in the sense that he's gonna have to work so hard to support his lifestyle, right? Umiatem es goes love, and he's also gonna cause his children to be like orphans. V'talmudo mishtekechem, forget his Torah study. Umachlokos rabos boos alav, and many disputes will come upon him. Okay, like in terms of right, either because he doesn't know Torah anymore, right? Or because he has too much credit. These creditors are always going to be calling and knocking on the door. Where's my money, right? Right? And his words will not be listened to. It will be a chil Hashem. V'shem Rabo, v'shem Aviv, v'gorim, shem Ra, lo lebanav lebanav, atzof kol hadoros, and it just creates a very bad reputation. So the Gemara the Gemara is giving strong words about living within one's means, right? Maihi. So what kind of bad reputation is he going to engender? Amar Abaye, Karolei, they're going to call him Bar Machin Tinurei. So this might be referring to the son of this guy, or it could be referring to him himself, just like a person himself is a bar mitzvah. So you could read it in two different ways, right? Anyways, the son of someone who's always heating the oven, is referring to what he's always eating. Rabba Amar bar meraked be kuchi. The guy he's the table dancer, right? Rav Papa Amar bar malachich pinky, he's the plate licker. Rav Shai Amar bar mach rava, he's the guy who sleeps in his clothing because he gets just so shikker, he gets so drunk that he's not really able to take off his clothing. He's just so busy with all his feasting and stuff.
In any work, he's not a good guy.
Yeah, he's just too busy, just not being very productive, right? Okay, Tanu Rabbanan. He should sell everything he has in order that he can marry the daughter of a Talmid Chacham. So that if he dies or he is exiled, since his wife is a Talmid Chacham, his sons will be Talmidei Chachamim even if he's not around to raise his own children.
Is it the wife or the shver?
No, I think the wife is the one who's primarily. I mean, even if a husband isn't dead, that's the mitzias. We know is that the wife, the mother raises the children more.
Talmid Chacham is going more on the wife, or that the family and the father-in-law.
Well, because she's a bas Talmid Chacham, we assume that she is she's some woman who will raise their children properly. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I don't think it's because we expect the shver to be doing all the raising of the children. Okay. Okay. V'al yisa bas ha'ma'aretz. But the bad idea is to marry the daughter of Amaretz. She mace, because then if he dies, a gola or he's exiled, banav Amaretz, and his children will likewise be Amaretz. Tan Rabbana lo miv karadam kol ma sheyesh lo. A person should sell all that he has. V'yisa bas Talmid Chacham, v'yisa Talmid Chacham. He himself should marry the daughter of Chacham, and his daughter should be married to Talmid Chacham. And this is like combining grapevines with other grapevines. that's a nice thing, and it works. It's this thing will work out well. You should not marry davar maretz. This is like mixing a grapevine with a thorn bush. Davar kaor. It's not a nice thing. It's not going to work out.
This is mixing two grapevines or the grapes from the vine to make wine.
Okay.
Grapevines would be grabbed.
I think there's a lot of flexibility when I understand the different metaphors of the Gemara. You're going to find lots of interpretations. That sounds like a plausible reading. Okay, Tanu Rabbanan. A person should always sell everything he has in order to marry the daughter of a Talmid Chacham. If he doesn't find the daughter of a Talmid Chacham to marry, you should marry the daughter of Gedalia Hador. So it's interesting. The way the Gemara uses Gedalia Hador is it's actually a lower level Talmid Chachamim, right? So it's different than the way we use that word. So we mean, yeah, exactly. It's people who are, they're generous people who are nice, and they sorry. Yeah, exactly. So they do nice things. They may not be such scholars, but they may not be top-notch scholars, but they're good leaders. They're good people in the community, right? Lo matzah bas gedalia, if he doesn't find a daughter of these great people, right? Yisa bas Roshei Knesiyos. So you should marry people who are the head of a synagogue, right?
At least from a government.
Like a president or something, yeah? Lo matzah bas Roshei Knesiyos. If it doesn't matter, find the daughter of the head of a synagogue. Yisa bas Begabay Tzedakah. You should marry the daughter of somebody who collects tzedakah. Lo matzah bas Tzedakah. If it doesn't find the daughter of someone who collects tzedakah, Yisa bas Melamdei Tinokos. You should marry the daughter of somebody who teaches children. But you should certainly avoid marrying the daughter of Amaretz. Shekets and Nishayin Sheretz. It's pretty strong language here, so it talks about the Amaretz are like bugs, and their wives are like the creepy crawlies. Okay, V'al B'neosein who Omer, and about their daughters it says Arur Shechivim Kol Behema. Right. So it's also interesting though. Just in terms of the different words, I mean, they're all very strong words, but it gets less and less as you go along. Right? Shakhates also means like an abomination, so it's the strongest language, and sheretz is slightly less, slightly less offensive a term, and then behema is even less offensive. So we're saying because each one is it's only kind of secondary, right? Meaning the real guy we're mad at here is the Amaretz, and then his wife, is to lesser extent, and his daughter even to less extent, right? Okay, Tanya Rabbi Yomer. Rabbi says Amaretz asulacho basar. She's not allowed to eat meat. Shenamar, why? It says Zos Torah Sabehima Va'of. It says this is the Torah of the animal and the bird. Kol osik v'Torah. Whoever is engaged in Torah mutlach basar can eat meat, behema va'of. V'chol she'eino osik v'Torah asulacho basar behema va'of. Okay. Amar Belazar, Amar it's mutter lenocharo b'yom kippurim shechalios v'Shabbos. Right. So it's a bit of an extraordinary statement. So he says it's permitted to stab him on Yom Kippur that falls on Shabbos. They said to him, Rabbi Amor l'shochto. No, you should. Why are you saying to stab him? You should slaughter him instead. Amar lahan zaton bracha v'zayin zaton bracha, because shechita requires a bracha, and it's inappropriate to make a bracha over an amaretz. So, one way, there's basically two approaches to this extreme statement, which is either it's just, it's an exaggeration, which is meant to, it's not meant to take this literally. It's to take it with a very big grain of salt, and it's just meant to encourage not being an Amaretz or, marrying into the Amaretz family. Or, in a sense, it's talking about a very specific kind of situation. It's talking about an Amaretz who's a rodef, an Amaretz who's trying to kill somebody or is trying to rape somebody. And the reason why we talk about in terms of Amaretz is because they're more likely. We say an Amaretz is more likely to be a rodef or engaged in rape.
This pasuk created the division against those who are not leavened.
But
you could see it.
Well, okay, it's a fair point, but the other thing you have to keep in mind is that the word Ha'aretz means very different things in different contexts, right? Here we're talking about a very, very low-level kind of Ha'aretz. There are, in other situations, in other Gemaras, the word Ha'aretz doesn't refer to something as bad. Here we're talking about a very, very low-level, very boorish kind of individual. It can create some confusion because it's the same words. But in this Gemara, clearly we're talking about a very boorish kind of individual. Okay. Okay. Amar Belazer says, Amaretz asur le'slavasimo b'derech. You're not allowed to accompany him on the road. Shneim, like it says, Ki yicha yachav orach hamacha. It's your life and the length of your days. Al chayav lo chayas. Sorry, he does not have pity on his own life because he's not engaged with Torah. So for sure he takes no pity on his friend's life.
You might kill him.
So exactly, so it's not a good idea to accompany him. Again, this is a similar extreme statement like we saw earlier, which the explanations will apply here as well, right? It's permitted to tear him open like a fish. And Amar Shmuel Bar Yitzchak Megabo. You can rip him open from his back. Okay, Tanya Amar Kiva Kishayisi Amaretz. When I was in Amaretz, Amarti, I said, So when he was in Amaretz, he had his own extreme statements, right? If you give me Talmid Chacham, I'll bite him like I'm a donkey, right? Amar le Tamidav Rabbi Amar Kekelav. No, you should. Why didn't you say that you're gonna bite Talmid Chacham like a dog? No, I really wanted to do a gesunte bite, right? I wanted to bite Talmidei Chachamim like a donkey, which breaks bones of people, right? If I was just biting them like a dog, I wouldn't be breaking their bones. Okay. Tanya. Higher Meir said, Kol Hamasi Bital Hamaretz. Whoever marries his daughter to Hamaretz, Ki'ilu Kofta Umenicha Lifnei Ari. So it's like he ties her up and puts her in front of a lion. Ma'ari daris v'ochel v'ein leboshes panim. Just like a lion, tramples on his prey and eats. He has without any sense of shame. Afamaretz maka uboel v'ein lo boshes panim. Right. So here's the Gemara about it's about sexual etiquette. That one of the differences between an Amaretz and a Chacham is an Amaretz is not solicitous of his wife's feelings and. Engages in intercourse without any sense of whether his wife is interested. Okay. Tanya Blazer Amar says, if there was no need for business relations, they would the Aryai would kill us. Tanya Rivke Kol Ha'usik B'Torah Lifnei Amaretz. Whoever engages in Torah in front of Amaretz, Kilu Ba'al Resasiv B'Fanav. Right. It's as though he's, cohabiting with the Amaretz's betrothed in front of him. How so? Shneimar says Torah Tziv Lanu Moshe Marasha, which is our inheritance, the Torah, right? Al Tikrim Morasha Ela Me'orasa with the Samach, right? So this actually is a somewhat positive statement in the sense that we're saying that it really the Torah belongs or is really the betrothed of an Amaretz just as much as it is of anyone else's, right? And in a sense, if we kind of to show off our learning in front of Amaretz, it makes him feel bad. It makes him feel like jealous because really he feels a connection to the Torah as well. Even if he's neglected it, really the Torah belongs to him just as much as it does to everybody else. Okay, Gedalia Sinah Shesonan Amaretz L'Talmid Chacham. So greater is the hatred that the Amaretz hate for Talmid Chacham. Yosem Sinah Shesonan of the Chav Misisrael. So an Amaretz hates a Talmid Chacham more than Gentiles hate Jews. And Yosem Mehen and their wives even more so. So again, a positive way of looking at it is in the sense that really what their hatred is based on is because really deep down what they want is also to be engaged in Torah, not to be totally ignorant, even if consciously they've decided to reject any sense of Torah. Yeah, exactly. They feel jealous because deep down, even though on the surface they've decided to reject any engagement with Torah, really deep down they want to study Torah.
That could also be the explanation of the Gentiles against the Jews too, because they're looking to us and we're.
They're jealous of our chosenness. Yeah. Okay. Tana. So there's a brayta says Shanu Pirish Yosim Mikula, and somebody who used to learn, somebody who used to be engaged with Torah, and then separated, disengaged himself from the ways of Torah. He hates Talmidei Chacham even more than Amei Haaretz do. Tan Rabbanan, Shish Dvar Nemra B'Amei Haaretz. So there's 6 things that it says about Amei Haaretz. Ein Mosin Lehen Eidos. We don't give Eidos to them. Right, we don't invite them to hear to hear something to testify about him. Okay. Ve'ein mekablim menu edis, and we don't accept edis from them. Ve'ein megalim lahen sod, and we do not reveal secrets to them. I guess we don't rely on them to keep secrets. We don't appoint them as as a trustee when you need you have orphans and need a trustee over their estate, right? We also don't appoint them as a trustee over charity funds. And we don't accompany them on the road. It's interesting. It's complicated exactly. Of this whole Amud, not so much of it is really practical halacha. Even this business of edus. If you look at Tosfos says that nowadays we may simply rely on a different shita of Rabbi Yossi, and we do actually use Amei Aretz as edim. Okay. Some say that we even don't announce a lost object that belongs to an Amaretz. I mean, how do you know that it's an Amaretz? Maybe it fell from a group of Amei Aretz, a group of people, they're all Amei Aretz, or I don't know, there's something, there's some identifying mark you can see on it from afar that it's clearly an Amaretz. So it doesn't mean you can go and take it for yourself. That's usher, but we're saying you don't have to go. The Gemara is saying you don't have to go and actually exactly announce it. Okay. And again, this halacha would for sure only apply to very, very boorish kind of Amaretz. Right? Somebody who just happened not to get a stellar Jewish education, we're not talking about that. We're talking about somebody who's a very, very boorish kind of individual. So the Tanna Kama holds Zimnin Dinafik Minei Zar Ma'ayai. See, he holds no. We do make the effort to get his lost object back to him. Why? Because he might have good children. And then they will benefit from this. Remember, it says Yachin v'tzadik yilbash, right? So meaning sometimes a wicked person will prepare something, and then a righteous person will end up benefiting. So here too, even if we're talking about a very, very boorish kind of individual, we return his avedah because his child might be a tzaddik, right? Okay. So we have this machlokas. What's the minimum shir when it comes to chametz and the basar kodesh? Lemamra der Meir. Is this to say Meir Savar Kibetza Hu Chashiv that the volume of an egg is considered important? Rabbi Savar Kizais Nami Chashiv, and Rabbi holds that even the size of an olive is important. Rabbi Umena. So I'll ask you a contradiction where we see the opposite in Zechus brachas. Like how making mezamnin. So what's the minimum size for a person to make a zimun, right? To bench essentially, right? And kizayis, so the minimum size for zimun, for benching, right, is to eat the volume of an olive of bread, right? Rabbi Yehuda Amar says arkebetz. He says no, it's the volume of an egg of bread. So here this is the opposite of what we see here. So Rabbi Yochanan Muchlefes Hashid. This is no. So really, we just got the opinions mixed up. So really, there's no contradiction. Aryai Amar says no. So really, you don't have to flip it around. And really, there's a reason why the shitos are the opposite. What Yehuda says the opposite of what he says in one context and another, and Remeir the same, right? Ahasam b'krai pligi. There in brachos, the machlokas is with respect to the meaning of the psukim. Haka b'svar pligi. Here it's just a logical dispute. Ahasam b'krai pligi. There in brachos they're arguing about psukim. Remeir Sabri holds v'echalta zu achila. So when it says we have a pasuk, it was last week's parsha, I think, right? V'echalta v'savat v'rechtes l'kacha, right? Yeah, in Yaakov, yes. Oh, sorry, 2 weeks ago. Sorry. Okay. It was recently, anyways. Okay. V'echalta zu achila. Right. So when it says you eat and are satisfied, and then you bless Hashem, right? So v'achaltim is referring to thanking God for eating, and then when it says savat, it's talking about thanking God for drinking. And then so achila everywhere in the Torah. When we talk about eating always implies eating the volume of an olive. Right, that's almost always when we're talking about eating in the Torah. We're supposed to read these together. The savata is modifying the v'achalta. It's not talking about drinking. Rather, we're talking about eating, which has the ability to satisfy. That's talking about the volume of an egg is enough to satisfy a person. So that's the machlokas in brachas. Here, it's a logical dispute. The Meir holds Chazaraso kitumaso. So returning it it goes after is the same shiur to which when tumas ochlin applies. The ritual impurity of food has a minimum shiur, right? Ma'at tumas bekibetza, just like tumas ochlin that for the ritual impurity of food, what's the minimum shiur is kibetza. The volume of an egg af chazarasa bekibetza. So also the minimum shiur for making you go back is the volume of an egg. We just have our chazarasa ki isuro. No, the minimum shear to return is like the minimum shear to violate an isser, right? Like let's say of either chametz or of disqualified kodesh meats, right? Ma isur because it's just like the minimum shear for the prohibition is because it's the volume of an olive because also to be required to turn the minimum volume is the size of the volume of an olive.